Welcome back everyone to my YouTube videos, and today I would like to talk to you about some helpful suggestions and tips with the return to school fast approaching. What to do if your child or teenager has a mental disorder. How can you allay their concerns and fears and help them transition back to school calmly and in control? So welcome back. My name is Tracey Maxfield. I'm a nurse, author, peer specialist and staunch stop bullying advocate, mental health awareness educator and suicide prevention awareness educator. And this is my YouTube video series on understanding and dealing with mental illness, suicide and bullying in our children and teenagers. So I'm sure there are many parents out there that must be doing a silent happy dance because school will be returning in a matter of weeks. And whilst most kids are kind of back to school again, there are a few that are excited. But imagine if your child or teenager has a mental illness, a mental disorder such as OCD, anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder. The return to school can be a pretty scary and traumatic experience. And so the best tip that I can offer, and what many experts actually say, is prepare ahead of time and organize. Be really organized and start to establish an early back to school routine at least 2 to 4 weeks before the actual school date. Now, what you need to do is obviously any doctor's appointments, therapy, medication refills, psychiatric appointments, you need to get them organized before the return to school and then ensure they are set up during the school year. The second thing that you need to do, and this is the key, one is talk. Talk with your child or teenager. Sit down, talk with them and listen to them. And I emphasize listen because that means that there is no distraction such as social media, TV, magazine, someone else talking to you at the same time. You really need to concentrate on what your kid is telling you, because as you know, they are not the greatest communicators. Usually words are yeah, okay, whatever. And ask them, how do they feel about returning to school? Is there anyone in the school, such as a teacher, counselor or friend, that they are familiar with and feel comfortable with? Ask them, what was it about their last school or class that they enjoyed? What are the good aspects? Because what we're going to try and do is pull on the good key components and try and use them to make this return to school a less stressful and positive experience. So after you've had a chat with your child or your teenager, what you're going to do with them is work out a return to school plan. And so it's something as simple as, okay, look at clothes and organize them. Binder, lunchbox, backpack, talk about the kinds of foods that they would like. You could even start making a list of sandwich suggestions or something. If they need lunch money, ensure that it's available and that they're not hunting it down that first week of return to school. You may want to check the bus route, especially if they're going on their own by bus. So do the bus route with them so it's familiar. Walk around the school, whether it's the old school or the new school. Walk around the school, find the lunchroom, the counselor's room, the principal's office, the classroom, the locker. All that helps reduce that tension and ease that they will be feeling. Will I fit in? Will everyone like me? Will they notice I'm different? Will they pick on me? Also, what you're going to need to do is maybe establish an early to bed routine. So start implementing that. Okay, now we're going to start going to bed this week at this time, next week we're going to go a little earlier, and so on, to get them into that good sleeping pattern, because good sleep is essential, especially for children or teenagers with a mental disorder. Also, what you're going to do is start limiting their time on social media, and that will be also a good opportunity for you to check their security on their phone, the people that they're talking to, the sites that they're visiting, the games that they are playing, because there can be a lot of negative comments and threats made about return to school, and particular schools, which can really scare a child or teenager. The other thing that you need to do is, let's say for example, your child is going to be walking or riding their bike to school on their own, or it's a new school. You want to walk the route with them. You want to point out, the stop signs and the stop signals, and you want them to get comfortable and familiar. Not only is this for familiarity, but it's also for safety. Safety is key. If it's a new school, drive around the area, see where the community centre is, the local church, the store where all the kids go, the grounds. Walk around yourself as a parent and get to know the community. Talk to the people. Where do the kids hang out? Is there anything that you need to know about? And then once you've got appraised of that environment, then introduce your child or teenager to it, so it seems less scary. Where is the drop-off point? If you're driving them, or where can they park their bikes, or school bus, or drop-off pickup points, etc. All that is going to reduce their stress and enable them to feel more relaxed. And as you're doing this, talk with your child. Have that important one-on-one time. Say, does this feel too long to walk? How are you feeling? Is there any aspect that scares you? Is that the store you would go to get like chips or something? Stuff like that enables your child or teenager to see that you are genuinely interested and you want to help them. Other strategies you need to do is plan for that first day, get everything organized and the time frame so they're not running late. That is a very anxiety, stress producing situation, but also talk with them about, okay, so what happens if you have an anxiety or a panic attack in class, or you feel very angry and out of control? What can you do to kind of reduce your stress and anger? Now, bear in mind, the teacher, you will have spoken to the teacher, and I'm going to talk about that in a very short time. But, introduce deep breathing exercises. Relaxation. Maybe they just need to put their hand up and ask to be excused and just go and walk to the washroom and walk back, or just go and breathe some fresh air. Maybe give them positive thoughts or a mantra. Another good thing is to put little notes in their backpack or in their lunchbox where it's, you're doing great, I love you, I believe in you, you've got this. And obviously ensure that they have contact numbers if they need to get hold of you, to even talk them through something. Which brings me to my next point. For that first return to school, please plan your schedule so you are available. If you have to go to school to help, if you have to talk to a teacher, if you need to even pick your child up from school that week so they feel more comfortable. If your child is worried about having no friends or being lonely, get them to rekindle a friendship with someone who is going to the school. Or if they're a young child and you know children that are going, set up play dates. Everything that you can do to promote relaxation and familiarity is going to help significantly with a child or teenager living with a mental disorder. When you go to the school, maybe and you've walked around with your child or teenager, maybe get the school schedule ahead in advance so they can see what classes they have and when their recess is. That again enables them to have control and they can start planning their day. Other strategies is, clear somewhere in the home or in the bedroom for homework. If homework assignments are a factor, maybe set up and say, okay, so when you come home from school, you can have a snack, and then maybe, you can do homework, then we'll have dinner, then go to an activity, social media, etc. I think by involving your child or teenager in the plan, and even actually putting up a schedule, not only in their own room, but also maybe in the kitchen, that will enable them to know that you are very much involved without becoming overly intrusive. And on a final note, what I'd like to say is ensure that the teachers are aware. Talk to the principal, the teachers, the counsellor. You need to know, especially if your child or teenager is taking medication, who is giving the medication, where it's going to be stored, the times, that you've got the proper paperwork completed. Then with the teachers, you're going to explain what's going on with your child and give them strategies about what to do if they're having an episode, how you can help them relax, how you can distract things so they, no one else in the class points it out or starts picking on them. Find out what their anti-bullying strategies are, what their policy is, because that could become a factor. Another thing is if they have a special education plan, go through it with the teacher. You want to share with them your child's good days and their bad days. What do they look like? What to expect? So they don't think that the child is being a bully or being lazy or acting out. That, I think, is very imperative, because the more that the teacher reacts, not responds, reacts to your child or teenager's behavior, the more it becomes an awareness in the class, and the more likelihood that your child or teenager is going to feel embarrassed, is going to leave school, is going to be subjected to bullying. We don't want that, and so we really have to be proactive and get the school involved. You also want to set up a time of follow-up appointments. When can you communicate with them? Is it by phone, in person, email, text? What is it that works for them? Because you need to really keep on top of this and be in tune with what's going on with your child, because you need to be aware if things are going sideways, and you need to get them back to the doctor or psychiatrist. What is working, not working. And this will help empower your child. Remember, we want to educate, inform, and empower your child. My philosophy, as you know, is engage, educate, empower. By working with your child or teenager, by listening to them and working out plans and strategies that not only you as a parent will help them with, but also friends, school, family, siblings. This is what's going to help empower your child. And last but not least, as a parent, please take time for yourself. Do not stress out. Murphy's Law, things will go astray. So you know what? It's not the end of the world. Take a deep breath, laugh, and go back to it again. It's vitally important that you remain in charge, but calm and effective and relaxed during this stage, because remember, if you're worked up and anxious, so will your child. So I hope you found these tips helpful. Please consider pressing the button below and subscribing to my YouTube videos and submitting your email so you'll get updates every time a blog post or video is posted. Also, there'll be a detailed blog about this subject on my website, www.traceymaxfield.com. And next week, I'm going to be talking about attachment disorders in children and teenagers. Thank you for your time and have a great week.